Hello, my name is Tilbe, and today I am talking about what happens to our brain when we learn to read and write. In this video, I'm gonna talking about learning to read and write has profound effects on the brain, particularly in terms of neural development and functional changes. If I want to summarize these subjects in the simplest way under 7 headings, first I can start with neural connection. When you started learning to read and write, new neural connections are formed in your brain. This involves various regions, including those responsible for language processing, visual recognition, and motor skills. Secondly, language processing areas. Reading and writing skills involve specific areas in the brain, such as Broca's area and Ventrix area, which are associated with language processing as you learn to associate symbol with sounds and meanings. These recognition become more specialized and efficient. Thirdly, visual processing. Reading requires visual recognition of letters, words, and sentences. The visual cortex becomes more adept at recognizing and interpreting writing symbols, contributing to improved reading skills. Fourthly, motor skills. Writing involves motor skills for controlling the movement of the hand and fingers. The brain's motor areas like the premotor cortex and primary motor cortex play a role in coordinating these movements. Fifthly, memory and recall. Reading and writing also involve memory processes, and you need to remember the shapes of letters, words, and the rules of grammar. Memory-related areas such as hippocampus play a role in this aspect of language learning. Sixthly, neuroplasticity. The process of learning to read and write is an example of neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to recognize itself by forming new neural connections. This adaptability is crucial for acquiring new skills. And lastly, increased gray matter. Studies have shown that literacy training can lead to an increase in gray matter in certain brain regions. This suggests that learning to read and write can result in structural change in the brain. Overall, the process of learning to read and write involves complex interactions between various brain regions. The brain undergoes adaptations to efficiently process and understand written language, and these changes contribute to your ability to communicate and comprehend written informations. Exploring how our brains adapt to learn reading and writing reveals an interesting story of change. At the heart of it is neuroplasticity, which means our brains can recognize by making new connections as we start the journey of reading and writing. Specific brain areas become really important. Like I said before, places like Broca's and Ventrix areas specialize to help us link written symbols with sounds and meanings, forming the basis of language understanding. Our visual brain, visual cortex, and sensory virtuoso part becomes a pro at recognizing and understanding written symbols, adjusting its processes to handle letters and words. At the same time, the part of our brain that controls our movements get busy making sure our hands can write well. This complex dance between thinking and moving happens while we are learning to read and write. Our memory, which helps us remember things, plays a big role too. The hippocampus, a memory center, helps us store and recall the shapes of letters and words. Doing things over and over, like practicing reading and writing, strengthens these brain connections. Studies show that the structure of our brain can change when we learn to read and write. Certain areas like gray matter can increase in size because of literacy training. This tells us that our brains physically change as we meet the change of learning to read and write. As our brain reads and writes, the bond between neurotransmitter becomes stronger. So how? Everything ends in practice and endless repeating. When we want to learn something and practice on it, neurotransmitters in our brain are activated. And we learn today through repetition what we practiced yesterday. Because the bond between our neurotransmitters has become stronger, this is exactly why our brain works when we read and write something, or more preciously, the parts of our brain and our neurotransmitter work. According to Sitzer et al., in their review article Cognitive Training in Alzheimer's Disease, a meta analysis of the literature, they suggested that engaging in reading and writing activities can offer cognitive benefits for individuals with Alzheimer's disease. While these activities do not serve as direct cures, they provide cognitive stimulation, potentially slowing down cognitive declines. Reading and writing can stimulate memory recall, serving as a form of communication and expression. Integrating these activities into daily routines provides a sense of structure and emotional well-being. Personalized approach considering the individual's abilities and preferences are essential. Collaborating with healthcare professionals to create tailored care plans ensure that reading and writing activities contribute positively to the overall well-being of individual with Alzheimer or dementia. In summary, learning to read and write isn't just about letters and words. It's also about our brains changing and adapting. This story, woven with brain regions getting specialized, our senses adjusting, and our brain structure changing, helps us understand how importantly literacy is for our brains. As we learn more about this process, we gain a better understanding of how reading and writing shape our minds through our lives. Thank you for listening and watching.